It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the North Carolina Courage professional soccer player, Casey Murphy. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you, Brandon?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to play professional soccer?
Yeah, so I started playing soccer when I was around 5 years old, and from, youth all the way up until high school, one of my goals was to become a professional. So, with that in mind, I just was constantly making sure I was doing everything that I could to get to that next level. And then went on to play college soccer. And from there, I had super supportive coaches that were like, okay, if you want to be a pro, we need to do this, this, and that. And so they really helped guide me in the right direction to now being a professional athlete.
What was your time like playing with Rutgers?
Yeah, Rutgers was like an awesome experience. I knew the coaching staff going in. I played for them at PDA, which is one of the top girls soccer clubs in the country. And I wanted to stay in Jersey, close to home, so my family could come to all the matches. And so I overall had an amazing experience at Rutgers. I got to go in freshman year and start, and played all the way through for 3 years before I left a little bit early to go play in France.
What was it like to put on the red Rutgers jersey for the first time?
Yeah, I don't know if my jersey was actually red because I'm a goalkeeper, but I know what you're saying. It was like looking up in the stands, seeing my family there. Obviously, looking over the sideline, seeing coaches that I really want to play hard for, win for, and just obviously my teammates in front of me. It was just an overall like I remember just like being nervous, like my hand kind of shaking, but also super excited just to get started and to play at that higher level. And I believe, we started that season pretty strong, so that was a good confidence builder going into postseason, and then from there just building on each year, getting better each season.
What was the transition like from you from going from college to professional soccer?
It's a big transition. I would say the speed of play is a lot faster. You have to make decisions quicker. You have to anticipate more. You have to just be more steady and reliable. And there's not as much room for error. So it's a definitely a big transition, but it was one that I was excited to tackle, and I just saw it as a challenge, and I was looking forward to just continuing to grow and learn from every game and every practice. And so it is a big transition, but if you go in with the right mindset that you can do it, then you're going to be in a good position to be successful.
What was it like playing for the first time and signing your first professional contract with Montpellier?
Montpellier, yeah. So um, I I finished up the under 20 World Cup, and when I got back, I I was really ready to go pro, and so I played one more season at Rutgers, and then I decided to not take my fourth year and go overseas because a team in France was looking for a goalkeeper. They were in the Champions League. Um, and I needed to make a decision quickly whether I wanted to pursue that or not. And within a week and a half of finding out about this opportunity, got on a plane, flew to France, and a few days later signed my first contract professionally. And I went over there by myself. I was the only American on the team. I It was kind of like my first time really away from home as well, because I went to school super close to my parents' home. So it was definitely a tough transition, but it was a great, like, overall growing up experience and being out there on my own. The language barrier, being finally a professional that I always want to be, and just like living that life of just soccer, and not having, school or any other distractions when you're in college. So I would say, it was, looking back now, like, I'm so happy I made the decision, and it definitely helped me get to where I'm at today.
What was it like playing professionally for Regent FC?
Oh, Rain.
Yes. Thank
Yeah. So Rain was my first team back in the NWSL, after I played in France for 2 years. And the head coach at the time was Blacko, who's now the women's national team coach. And so he had, like, everything super structured, organized. The communication between the players and the staff was really, like, on point. So I got there, and was very happy with how things were being run there. The training was, intense, and the team did well that year. We made it to the semifinals, and then we lost to actually the team I'm on now, the North Carolina Courage. But getting back and playing on, U.S. soil after playing in France for a few years, it was like I was really excited to get back and play in the States.
What was it like to, of course, come to North Carolina Courage to play professionally?
When the trade when the trade had happened and I was going from Rain to North Carolina, I was obviously upset to, leave my teammates at Rain. I built some good relationships there with the team and with the coaches, the goalkeeper coach, of course. And I obviously was going to miss them a bunch, but like, North Carolina Courage has this reputation of winning, and like, we always, like, around the league, you hear them talk about the trainings at North Carolina and how they're super competitive, and how the coaches are very demanding, and like, I like love that. I like couldn't wait to be a part of like the culture here, and to finally get to play with them. So yeah, everything so far is, I'm really happy with.
What was it like whenever you signed your contract with the Courage and put on the jersey for the first time?
When I put on the Courage jersey for the first time, I had just come back from the SheBelieve Cup, so I'd missed our first game with the team, and so I was just like eager to get a game. And obviously last year was a COVID year, so we didn't play many matches. So I was just really like excited to finally be back in a like a regular routine of playing games, training. So that I was really pumped for, and also just, being back on the East Coast playing for a team that always has a target on their back. Like, I was really looking forward to that challenge as well.
Can you talk about, of course, the challenges you faced while playing during COVID?
Yeah, during COVID was a difficult time because, like, when you're a professional, like, soccer is your life. Like, you sleep, you eat, and you play soccer. And we couldn't play soccer that much, which was, like, obviously super frustrating. And like, you just wanted to, like, be able to get back to a normal home and away schedule, and travel, and just being with your team and hanging out and having roommates and doing meals together, and like all the stuff that goes into being, or like goes into being on a team. And so when that all like shut down, it sucked, but obviously we had to stay safe, and um, which required us to do a lot of training on our own. And so that's what we did. I remember going out to the field, every day, and just making sure that I was staying fit and staying ready, and sharp for when we were going to get the green light to be able to play again.
What is a typical game day like and your game day preparation like?
Game day is the best day. You train hard all week, and then like the game day is like your reward. You get to, put all of that hard work and test yourself and see like, oh, did you actually, challenge yourself enough this week or stay consistent enough. So game day is like your opportunity to see like how well you're preparing yourself. And so on game day, I keep things like pretty like steady and simple. Making sure I get good sleep, get good nutrition. We always do a team walk or get the legs going some way, and then a little bit of video, and just like thinking about the game for sure, visualization, and then basically just building all that energy up, saving all that energy for when you go and play.
What was it like whenever you got the call up in the U.S. national team with the U.S. national team?
Yeah, so when they call you up, they send you an email, and I know the coordinator who sends out the email. So anytime I see his name pop into my Gmail, I get chills. I get so excited. And there's been a lot of like, not a lot of, but there's been a few times where it's been an unexpected call up, and like I was obviously preparing and ready for when it would come, but just not knowing it was going to come then. And those moments are like amazing because you see it, you're invited, I like personally like scream a little bit, super excited, and then and just share the news with like family and friends. It's an awesome feeling.
What was it like whenever you got the call up in 2018 and then 2021?
In 2018, I was had finished my first season in France, and it went really well. I won goalkeeper of the year in the French league, and so coming back for the off season and then being able to go into camp was like so ideal and perfect because one, it's obviously great training, but two, like that's my dream, that's my goal, is to be on that team consistently and be the star, be the number one on the national team. So I felt like going overseas and then getting called in, like I was taking the right steps to where I needed to, the right steps in the right direction. So yeah, I was obviously so excited, and just took that all in and learned from that experience. And then recently got another call up this year a couple times, and so just the goal is to not just get called in, but to stay in and get to the point where I'm the first goalkeeper on the team.
What was that feeling like when you did get the call up and you were playing with Alex Morgan and other players like Megan?
Yeah, Megan Rapinoe. They're obviously like legends of the game. So I grew up like watching them, and they're definitely huge role models for so many soccer players. But when you're there, you can't really like be a fangirl. You need to be super cool and chill and yourself, and not be like, oh my God, I'm, getting shot on by so and so. So I was like obviously pumped to get shots and crosses from like some of those awesome forwards on the team, but I knew I was there, and to prove that I belong there, and to stay there. So I couldn't like obviously get caught up in all of that.
What was the feeling like whenever you got to put on the U.S. soccer jersey?
Well, it's definitely just, you think about all the work you've put in, and you think about like how it's such an honor, and for me, it's every time, especially since it hasn't been too many times, like it still is super exciting, and I just don't want to take it off. So the goal is to do everything I can to be there more often and consistently.
What is your game day routine like for the North Carolina Courage, and then also whenever you were with the national team?
The game day routine? I feel like we just talked about that. But yeah, I was just saying, like, I keep it simple and structured, pretty, it's relaxed, but I'm moving. Like, I'm not just laying around all day, but I'm not like wasting away all of my energy out in the heat. So staying inside, going for walks, stretching, music, good food, a nap, like all of that stuff is usually on my game day routine list.
Who are some players that you look up to in the NWSL?
Yeah. My teammates, like, I have some, high level elite, like, international teammates on my team here. Denise O'Sullivan, Abiyersik, and then obviously, and so many more. And then also just like players that have played in for our national team, like Jess McDonald, Sam Ewis, who is still on the team, Lynn Williams. So all those players are just class, and they bring it every single day. And in addition to what I've like almost all of the players on my team, I would say that about. But I would just say I look up to my teammates the most because they, never stop. They're never settling and always want to be better. And I really look up to that.
What is something that you learned now that you didn't know before playing professional soccer in the NWSL and the National Women's Soccer League?
Sorry, that what?
You learn now that you didn't know before playing professional soccer.
Something I've learned now. I can't just say one thing, to be honest, Brandon. I've learned so much, and I learned something new about myself, about the team, about the sport. Like, honestly, it sounds so cheesy, but every single day, like, if I'm not reflecting back on the session or the game and not learning something new, like, I just can't imagine that. Like, there's always something that I want to improve upon, or can be a better teammate about, or can communicate better. So each day it's different. Some days the thing is a little bit bigger, or some days it's just like a small little thing that I'm like, okay, tomorrow just be a little bit more cautious of that, or pick up on that a little bit sooner. But I can't give you one thing because there's so many.
What advice would you give somebody looking to play college soccer?
College soccer, get yourself into, competitive, challenging environments, whether it's a girl playing on a guy's team, or playing up a few age groups, or going to ID camps, and or just watching the game more, learning more about the game. I think if you want to play at that collegiate level, it requires, more than just being good. You need to work at your craft and recognize where you can be better, and then start to chip away at those weaknesses.
What advice would you give college players looking to play professional soccer?
I would say it's a small amount of collegiate athletes that go on to play professionally. And if you want to be in that small percent, you can't be like everyone else on the team. You have to set the standard higher for yourself. You have to stand out. You have to stay consistent. You have to just really want it. And I think if you really, really, really want it, you're going to be willing to put in the work to get to that point. So it just all comes back to like how badly you want it and how hard you're willing to, go for that, professional contract.
What advice would you have players playing in the NWSL looking to make the national women's soccer team?
Never gotten that question before. I know, like, personally, like, you have to constantly be working on yourself, but you also have to be serving your team. I think it's so much more than just being individually brilliant. You have to, also be able to lead, especially as a goalkeeper, be able to lead and communicate and help others make their jobs easier. Like, the better I can direct my back line, the better they're going to be. And so there's a lot of intangible things that also go into being at that next level on the national team. And so it's taking care of not just making those highlight reel saves, it's all of the things behind the scenes that you need to stay steady and consistent and work at as well.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
You guys can find me at Casey Murphy 11 on Instagram, and then on Twitter, Casey Murph.
Thank you again, Casey Murphy, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the North Carolina Courage.
Thank you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.